talk money.
Welcome back. Here with us on Let's Talk Money. And this week, it's all about travel, how to plan better, plan smarter, and how to ensure that you have the right kind of travel insurance as you're rushing out towards the airport. Priya Deshmukh is with us in the studios. She's from ICICI Lombard, and she's helping us understand all the nitty-gritties of a travel policy. Typically, I admit this is the last thing people sort of look into, which is why we're here to ask the questions, Priya. So what all does a travel policy cover? I should know beforehand, right? Rather than landing up in a problem outside and then figuring out, okay, does my policy have this or not?
Absolutely. One of the surveys by Global Travel Trends report, 50% of people travel, book their tickets 14 days in advance, and almost similar numbers buy insurance in the last 2 days of the travel that's planned for. So it's very much of a last minute kind of a affair.
Yeah.
But it's very critical for people to understand that the country that they're visiting, what is the kind of healthcare system, how are things, and in order to really avoid the last minute, hassle or any issue that is caused because of any medical emergency or non-medical, situations of loss of baggage or mugging or any kind of other mishaps, it's important to really buy insurance and know what all your insurance plans really covers.
So does the insurance plan cover something like mugging as well?
Yes. Almost, 30% of Indians that take trips, there is a situation where they have had issue with mugging, any fraudulent payment, other challenges. I mean, those are common issues that travelers really experience. There are, instances where people get tricked. So all of these elements are covered as part of non-medical coverage in the insurance travel insurance plan.
Okay.
So you have the basic critical, vanilla offering of medical insurance, any kind of emergency, any hospitalization for that matter, any kind of personal accident. But at the same time, you have loss of baggage, loss of passport, all those kind of issues also covered as part of the offering.
So are these plans fairly standardized across the industry, or do you have to be very careful and go through all the conditions? Because maybe ICICI Lombard is offering, maybe someone else is not. The reason I'm asking is that, we don't typically pay so much attention to what all is covered.
See, in the zest of travel, and most of the travel is either for leisure or study or maybe work-related travel, people tend to really miss out and pay as much attention that one would need for a travel insurance plan. And the travel insurance plan choice would essentially depend on the destination, as I said, what kind of long stay or a short stay, what is the family combination that is traveling, and what is the infrastructure in the city, what are the local, situations or scenarios that are going to impact either health or, non-health kind of situations that the traveler may face. And hence, it's extremely important to go through the details of what your policy covers, what are the critical exclusion lists, and also be familiarized as to, if at all there is a claim to be made, what are the processes to really go through, if one has to go through that, scenario or situation.
No, absolutely. So which is why I was asking that all the things that you kind of listed out, which is a medical emergency, which is a non-medical emergency, which could be loss of baggage, which could be things like, mugging or theft or, loss of documents. Do most insurers in the average travel insurance policy, do most insurers cover this?
So there's something called as basic cover, and now new age products cover multiple other features. So there is a bare minimum medical emergency and loss of baggage kind of feature.
Okay.
However, there are a lot of novelty kind of features that have been added by new age insurance companies like ourselves.
Okay.
So you have adventure sport, you have visa service. So you apply for a visa, your visa gets rejected. So your insurance covers the entire processing fee.
Okay.
So that's something new.
Okay.
Adventure sports was always excluded, but now it's all about experiential, traveling, and it's important for you to really have that assurance and that, security. So there are plans which are very, very customizable.
Okay.
They can be personalized depending on the need for your travel, the stay, the number of days that you're staying in a particular country, the requirement that's there. So the newer plans, the new age plans do have customization options available, and it would have impact on your coverages as well as the cost of travel insurance premium that you would.
So got that, Priya. Now to go back to the example that you gave earlier about a 50-year-old traveling to any international destination, right? You said the cover there would be around 10,700. But that's for a 180 days of foreign stay, correct?
Correct. That's right. I mean, that's a long stay. You could have programs where you're going for a leisure trip,
like
say
2
like
weeks or,
2 weeks or all. So you have a different kind of premium, which is much, kind of smaller compared to what I mentioned. And depending on the country that you're going, it would again differ. And the premiums are really, really very economic.
Even for something like adventure sports and all the funky
there's
stuff.
There's a little bit of layer of risk out there, and you load up as an insurer. You would load up the premium, but still it would be much cheaper.
So
compared.
ballpark estimates. Say a 2-3 week trip, the basic cover, which includes your medical emergency, loss of baggage, and throw in that adventure cover. So how much would it cost?
6,000 to 7,000 range is the premium that you would have for a 2-week travel. And some of these add-ons that are kind of I mentioned just now would be the ballpark number.
Okay, Priya, so that's really helpful. Finally, now sum it all up for us. What are the things that we should check, read, ask before buying travel insurance?
As we discussed throughout, travel insurance is one of the most important and core, requirement when somebody is traveling either for leisure or business or any kind of tour. And the last thing you want is to be stuck by any kind of a situation and get caught in the middle of a problem. Having said that, in travel insurance is to give you assurance, peace of mind. One must check what are the exclusions and inclusions depending on the, what kind of coverage do you have, what country you're traveling. If you're traveling to a country like US or Europe or any other country, having high amount of, medical expenses when it comes to medical emergencies, you've got to really make sure that you have adequate sum insured. Check the start date and end date of your travel insurance policy, depending on the travel dates that you're traveling. Also the geographical scope in terms of coverages, restrictions and exclusions, and familiarize yourself with the claim process. And depending on your requirement and need, certain add-on new age covers that are there, whether it is sports and adventure, car rentals. We've seen almost 20% of people who travel abroad now prefer to have, rental cars. So to cover that bit of any kind of damage or any mishap, you have insurance cover add-on. So such kind of add-on covers align to your itinerary on your leisure and the trip that you're planning. You have to really make sure that all of that is kind of concerted and kind of aligned with your plan.
Priya, that's a really important point. And before we go, we must ask you, in the event of a mishap, something gets lost, you lose your phone, you lose your documents, God forbid a medical emergency, what's the process? What do? You call back to India? How does the claim happen? Explain the process.
So in case of a non-medical emergency, like a flight gets cancelled or there is a baggage loss, so we have an auto tracking mechanism and auto claim reimbursement or kind of payoff to the consumer, so it's completely hassle-free. The last thing we want our travelers or insured members to really worry about: how do you claim in case of travel being cancelled because of trip cancellation, which is very well available as information, and we have integration to really get that info transmitted. Similarly, talking about medical emergency, we have our partners across the globe. There are plans worldwide cover. There are certain geographical specific plans that you buy. We have a clearly mentioned phone line number. Our application. Yeah, we have an application wherein the consumer can go in and just dial that, toll-free number, connect with a partner, and the whole end-to-end hand-holding of the whole process will be taken care by a partner. So this is a 24/7, facility that is available in case of emergency, any kind of, transmission from, or rather any kind of transit that has to be arranged from one location to another. If there is an accident, a person has to be moved from that particular location of an accident to the nearest facility. All of that, ambulance services and any kind of support to offer, all of that is being managed by our partners.
And how quick is this whole process?
It is emergency response, and in case of emergency, it would range anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the criticality of the situation. So we have partnerships across the globe. Whether it is a hospital partnership or any other network partnership, those are in place for us to support our customers.
Very, very reassuring to hear. But hopefully we don't need those services when we travel, but always good to be secured. know that you're covered in case of any eventuality. Priya, very, very helpful conversation. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Wish you a fabulous 2025, more travel, more joy, and more secure trips ahead.
Thank you.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on this week's edition of Let's Talk Money. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again with the final countdown, the final episode of 2024 coming up next week.
Let's Talk Money